So when we join the logical files, it means that the logical file will borrow the data from multiple physical files, and those physical files will have at least one common field based on which it will start joining the records. For example, if I have one physical file where I have all the student grades and another student file, I have all the students' personal data. So the common field is student ID. So I will try to grab on the student ID for every course grade, the name of the student. So the name of the student is coming from one physical file, the grades are coming from the other one, and that's how I'm generating my report. So logical files can do that with multiple physical files, provided they have a common field. And it's not like they're limited to joining only 2 fields. They can basically join 3, 4, 5, however many physical files you think are needed to complete the job. Okay. So, okay, so somebody else joined us, and that is, oh,
Hi, it's Angelica.
Angelica Martinez. I was like, where did she go? She just joined. Did she buy the Harry Potter's cloak? Okay.
Invisible.
Yeah, every time you turn on the camera, it just pushes you at the top of the list. So I was like, she was at the bottom. Where'd she go? Okay, so cool. So Angelica, we were just talking about Grey's Anatomy. That's all you missed. We're talking about the scheduling for spring 2023. So that's where we spent our last X number of minutes. So now, so that's basically the gist of today's class. Logical files will continue, select, omit, and joins. So the class notes from last week, I made them available again, just as a refresher, just so that we can review it one more time. And just as a refresher, that what are the logical files? Logical files, they cannot exist without physical files. They borrow the data from one or more physical files. And that's what you will see today when they borrow data from more than one physical files, okay? They allow you to access data horizontally. They allow you to access data vertically or both. And we saw that with the help of select, that we were able to select only some of the columns. We were able to select only some of the rows or some of the columns in some of the rows. And then since it never holds the data, it's always up to date. Whenever you query it, it gives you the most up-to-date data. And it does not take up any disk space for data. The only disadvantage would be to code one additional file. It may require some extra time, and there's an overhead for querying the physical files when logical file is queried. But again, logical files, just like physical files, need libraries, source physical file. They're created as a member with a source type LF. Then you have to make sure that when you're creating a logical file in the record format, you are saying, you know what, I want to borrow the data and fields from so-and-so physical file. That physical file must be compiled already, and you just list its name and then you list the fields. That's about it. And the logical files in your data explorer are placed under views, not under tables. So that was some basic information we talked about last week. Then I shared with you, there are tutorials out there. I just added 2-3 tutorials on top of what we had before. Did we work with range and values last week or no? Did we only come as far as comp?
Yeah, only comp, I think.
Okay, so we'll look at range, values, we'll look at select, we'll look at omit, we will look at and or operators, and then we will look at join. So that's basically our main emphasis for today. And then you have a quiz and an assignment to work on during the week. Okay, so let's get started by first going to the V2 cloud so that we can get going. So all of you can log into V2 Cloud if you're not already there and give me a green check when you're there. Come on. Wow.
It might be down. I'm trying to log in and it says IT students is running whenever I click on connect and then I click on it again and it just loads infinitely.
Wow.
Yeah,
Guess I'm lucky for having it open doing the assignment beforehand.
Same
Yeah,
here.
I'm getting the same thing.
I wish I was going to, but I got on a little late and now I'm regretting it. It won't open at all for me.
You're not alone. Okay. Ah,
There we go. I got it too.
There we go. Nice.
You guys were probably all hitting it at the same time, so he wasn't letting anybody.
I was doing it before he even said to go into it because I was gonna work on it. Well, I was gonna have it set up so that I could start working on it whenever we had any downtime.
so we will open RDI. Okay. So what we will do is we will create multiple physical files. We will populate them with data. And then the reason I'm creating multiple files is because that will allow me not only to work with the selection and omission, but also when we get to the join part, we will already have the physical files connected and we can simply join them on the common field. So let's see. Okay, so we have Ethan and Bart are the only couple people that have not yet joined, or have at least not told me that they have. Okay,
Sorry, my bad.
that's fine. Ethan is the only one left. Ethan, are you having any difficulties connecting?
Yeah, I'm having some difficulties, but I'm managing.
Okay. So are you in V2 Cloud now?
Yeah, I'm logging on right now.
Okay. Okay. So I will be creating 2 physical file members here in the fall 22 initials 1. One of them I will call teachers, and I'll put teacher ID there and some basic teacher information there. The other one I will call classes, in which I will put class ID, class name, and a teacher ID. So I'll have a common field between the 2 of them. This will help me launch a logical file with a join on the 2, which I would then be able to see, okay, what is the name of the teacher that teaches this course? And what's the name of the teacher that teaches this course? I'll be able to join the data sets that way. So we will just build our entire example right from the beginning that way. So you simply right click on a source physical file and you create a new member. We'll call this new member teachers 22. And make sure you choose PF for a physical file member. And you know the drill. You need to create your record. You need to have a unique data set, which you need to do unique, and then your record format.
Sorry, I'm having an issue with my library. I'm clicking, right clicking, and I'm saying new, and it's just saying source physical file.
Oh, you are right clicking on your library. You should be right clicking on your source physical file. So right click on that FA22, your initials 1, right click on that. So you're one level higher than where you should be. So if you right click on a library, the library lets you create a source physical file. When you right click on a source physical file, then you can create member.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm still having an issue.
Same issue, that is not letting you create a member.
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm finding the correct library.
Are you inside your library ITPA, your 3 digits? Are you inside that library?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then if you scroll down, are you not able to find your source physical file by the name of FA22, your initials 1?
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Then you right click on that source physical file and then you create new member.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So the name of the member is teachers 22. And don't forget to choose PF in the member type. And then here's the source file, the code for the source file, which magically somebody wrote. And for those of you who are done with this, go ahead and compile this. Check your commands log to make sure that it tells you that the member was added to the file. That means the member was converted to an object.
Telling me I cannot sign in.
You cannot sign in?
Yeah. User profile. IT.
Probably is your user profile disabled by any chance? Let me check. You sure your caps lock is not on?
Yeah, it gave me the prompt. Yeah, I disabled it.
Oh, you are okay. So what's your last three for ITPA?
579.
Okay. Yeah, you're okay. Try now. It should be enabled.
Okay, looks like it.
Okay. Again, the name is teachers 22.
Yep.
This is we're talking about the schedule while some of the other people are so busy catching up. So for example, control language, IBM control language. I have the evening section. So, oh no, sorry, I have the day section and then Alan has the evening section. So, and then for, yeah, the others, all my other classes are, yeah, except for Java and CL, all my other classes are fourth semester. So yeah. You will probably see a very interesting time of start and end, 11:40 to 3:40 p.m. Traditionally, it was actually 12:50 to 4:50. But the problem was, if I am teaching, let's say on any of the days till 4:50, that does not give me enough time to come back home and teach my OSINT class. So that's why I had to request them to push it back by 1 hour. And of course, it wasn't easy. They said, it's your problem.
Wow.
They said, we'll see if it doesn't,
That's somebody else's problem.
yeah, if it doesn't coincide with the gen ed classes the student need that semester, then we will push you by 1 hour. Otherwise, you know, you just teach that evening class from campus, just find a room if you can't make it back home in time.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, we'll figure.
The
So
work-life
luckily,
balance there.
luckily they were able to do that for me. So
Yeah, I registered for the IBM Enterprise System Concept next semester with you.
oh, the control language. No, yeah, okay. I mean control. This is the systems concepts right now. This class is system concepts, and that's one is the control language.
Yeah, you're right. It's control language. I was in the wrong semester.
I didn't see one for you for the IBM control language. I only saw one for Alan.
Because that's an evening one and mine is a day
Oh.
one.
That's right. That's right. That and microcomputer programming,
Yep.
both with Alan.
And then I think anybody who's taking internet programming next semester will then be with Wendy Revelinsky if you're taking that daytime section. And then summer,
Yeah.
it probably will be Wendy or I, either of us will be doing the summer one.
Then I guess I'll see you guys in the summer.
If that other trick I told you did not work.
Yeah. Right. I would not mind trying that, but
Because we have, you know, at least we started very strong the first semester. And then, you know, unfortunately, some people were not doing their stuff in timely fashion. So they probably, I think some of them dropped out.
So let's say that goes through, right? And I'm already signed up for one of the earlier class. Will I be able to jump to that class?
You're saying if the new section opens up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always jump to other sections if there are more sections open up. Absolutely.
Okay. Because I'm with Alan. I need the evening would be ideal for me just because of my job situation.
Oh,
Right.
For which course?
I think that when I was with what is this guy name? I'm trying to remember who was my previous
All the
student advisor.
all the Allen classes have a day and evening sections.
So I need a IBM control language is what I got next, and
Yeah,
microcomputer
and both,
programming.
and both of them have evening offerings.
So
yeah.
these ones both have evening.
Yeah,
Yeah, Alan's doing those.
right.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be in Allen class. I want to stick with you.
Right? We've grown attached to you. We don't want
Yeah.
to.
Who's gonna give these corny dad jokes? You know, I need the
Yeah.
corny dad jokes on a daily basis. You know, that this is a requirement now for any IBM class that I'm gonna take.
I mean, Alan has his own different jokes.
Yeah, but what if he's not user friendly? You're user friendly.
He's a nice guy. He's been with Gateway for more than I am with Gateway.
You became my programming daddy. We don't want to go anywhere else.
Oh, you went there with it, Elvin. Sorry.
Oh, with my age, great grandfather.
What the hell did I just listen to?
Even though I'm probably older than everyone in here, so that's okay.
I mentally heard the bind boom sound effect.
And I wanna, yeah, for no, if I do
That's
dream
the
about
sus
this,
face meme.
yeah, no, if I do dream about this, Elvin, I promise you, I'm gonna like mute you right around this time.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah. I don't know. We can have so much fun with others. I don't know, but yeah.
I mean,
As much fun at
if
school
you
as
had, what time is your day class, anyways?
It's from 2 to 5.
Oh, I could do 2 to 5. Yeah, I could do 2 to 5. It's not too
Yeah.
bad.
I'm done.
So, okay, so everybody's done with this one. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next member that I want to create, which will be where the teacher's classes information will be. So let's add the next member. We'll call that one classes 22. And then again, this will be a PF, a physical file member.
Teachers 22 what?
This is classes 22. The previous one was teachers 22. This is classes 22.
All right, got you.
Now, one thing I have to be careful about is when I am picking a common field between, let's say, classes and teachers. So if I'm using the teacher ID as the common field, I got to make sure that the names are the same. Or even if they're not the same, the description has to be exactly the same. The other teacher ID should also be 5A. Otherwise, I won't be able to join. So it's a good practice to keep the same name. That is your code readability. That, yeah, it's the same stuff that you're talking about between the two members. So again, whenever you are done, compile this. And let me clear the feedbacks for you to give me a new feedback when you're done with this and have checked the command block to make sure that it is compiled successfully. Then we will populate both of them with some data, and then we will start working with our logical files. So as you start getting done, can you give me a green check? If anybody is done and has forgotten to give me a green check. And by done means you're able to compile it, no errors, and have checked the commands log to make sure that the class sys22 is added to the file 22. So, yeah. So 3 people are left, Aiden, Jack, and Ethan.
Yeah, I just don't remember how to compile it.
How did you compile the last one?
I didn't.
Oh, you did not. Okay.
Yes, I didn't know.
So what you do is you click anywhere in the source code, and then you click the compile menu, and then you go to compile and then create PF.
Okay, thank you.
And then check to make sure that you don't have any errors, and then check the command log to make sure that it was added.
All right, yeah, cool.
Okay, and then you repeat the same process for classes. And if you want, you can also right click on any of these members in the remote system explorer, and you can compile from there as well if you want. So you can do it either way. Let me know that. Okay, you got it. Okay, cool. Now let's go to the database development. Let's open the Death Star, open the schemas, the profile, and we'll go to tables. And the 2 tables we have are teachers and classes, right? Which one of the 2 do you think we should fill out first? Not that it matters, but technically speaking, we should fill out teachers because classes is dependent on teachers in terms of ID. So I should first create my teachers, and then I can use their IDs in the classes one. So if I scroll down in the list, under a letter T, I should be able to find teachers, 22. And then you go to data, and then you can click edit.
I'm having a problem with my tables. It's not, nothing's popping up.
Yeah, me too.
Same here.
Nothing is popping up.
Again, that's what happened last week too with me.
And how did you solve that, Jared?
If I remember correctly, for one, we closed it and reopened it. And
Okay.
then I don't remember what else. It might have just been that. I'd say try that first and then see.
Yeah, close RDI altogether and then reopen RDI.
You can wait.
Oh, and then it was
You
right
can
click to
also
refresh.
refresh the
Yeah.
the tables thing.
Oh,
I
Right.
found
Go to the
mine by
icon,
refreshing.
you right click it.
Reset it.
okay. So did
Okay.
that solve the problem? Refreshing it? No.
I already did that. That didn't help.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
I had to close. Like I tried to refresh the first time, it didn't work, and then I closed and then refreshed, and then it fixed it last week.
okay, let's try that. Close RDI, reopen it, and then go back to the Data Explorer and see if you can refresh to see if that will make any difference.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. Anybody still not seeing their tables?
It's like when I open up my FA22 AB1, I get like columns, constraints, dependencies, indexes, and triggers, and they're all empty.
Yeah,
Except for columns.
Yeah. Don't. Oh, even columns are empty for teachers.
No, columns are not empty actually. sorry.
Yeah. I mean, like all the others will be empty. All you need to do is then right click on teachers 22 and then go to data and edit.
But there is no teachers 22.
All
I
the-
get, I get straight from FA22 AB1. I get pulled straight into the columns, constraints, dependencies, indexes, triggers.
I think that's a separate name and you
Yeah.
need to go down to
Yeah.
teachers.
Yeah, go down to the letter T to see if you can find teachers. Because FA,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought this was the source physical file. My fault.
FA22, which is your source physical file, also gets registered as a table because it's a table for the source code.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm having an issue still. I logged back in and now I'm not even getting a window for my schemas.
Okay, let's have a, can you share your screen, Chris?
Sure.
Okay, just one second. Can you right click on Death Star and refresh? Okay, now open schemas. Right click on schemas and refresh. Okay, now right click on schemas again, but this time go under filter. This is not loading anything. Hit cancel.
It was doing this when I was doing my homework too, and I just left it for a few hours, come back, and then it was working again.
Okay, now can you right click on the top level Death Star, the one that has filtered next to it? Yeah, right click on that and choose disconnect. Disconnect. Okay. Now double click on Death Star again. Double click on Death Star. Oh, my internet connection is unstable.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, open schemas.
Okay.
Can you see it now? Okay. And that's the teachers is down below. And you right click on teachers and then you go to data and then you go to edit. So that's another way. If it is not behaving, you can always right click on the main server and try to disconnect it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so now let me share just one second. It disconnected me. Okay. Now we will start entering some data here. So teacher ID 1, I'll just come up with some first name, some last name. So I'll just stick to 4 teachers, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just ID them 1, 2, 3, 4. The rest of the information, you guys can enter whatever you want to enter. And when you're done, on the very last one, you hit enter and you save the changes. And it will tell you at the bottom that it ran successfully. And then you can go down to the teachers, data, return all rows. When you're done with the teachers, you can do exactly the same for the classes. You may have to scroll up to the top where you will find classes 22, and then you got to enter the data the same way, edit. And I'll keep the same sequence that for the classes, I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that sequence. And the teacher's ID, I'll choose one of the 4. I purposely did not assign any classes to instructor 4. So I assigned multiple classes to the same teacher. by using the same teacher ID multiple times. Give me a green check when you are done entering data for both. And you can see that it returns a result in the bottom right corner. So then we will start working with our logical files, which will help us tap into these data sets.
How do I get it to show up in the bottom right after I have
you-
everything typed out?
Okay, did you save the changes?
Yes.
Okay, so you right click on it and then you go to data and click return all rows.
Okay, thank you.
Lawnmowers in the house like that.
Say it again.
Run lawnmowers in the house like that.
So still waiting for 3 more people to give us the green check. Or now 2 more people. Ethan and Desmond left.
I thought I gave you a game check already.
Oh, okay, cool. Might have disappeared. Now that we are done with this, we will now switch back to the remote system explorer. We can close the classes tab and the teachers 22 data tabs. So I just closed both of those tabs. Now I will begin by creating my logical files. So I'm going to, I've right clicked on my source physical file and I'm creating a member. Teach LF1 is the name and the type is LF. Teach LF1 is the name and the type is LF. And then hit finish.
To do this, I'm trying to close my teacher's thing, but it's like, oh no, you can't save it because you have an extra row and I don't remember how to delete the row, but I know what, but it worked when I did return all rows.
Oh,
but I can't delete it.
you
Well,
basically,
let me close it.
you basically right click in the, oh, second.
In the empty row and then
Yeah,
hit
yeah, and
revert.
then you hit delete.
Oh, delete row. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, now can I close it, please?
I just got booted from V2 Cloud, so I'm logging back in.
Oh, okay. So did you create the logical file yet or no?
Did I?
Yeah.
Yes, I did, but as soon as
Okay.
He's probably gonna have to redo it again.
Yeah, as soon as I click finish, it just booted me right out.
Oh, okay. See, when you come back, make sure that you have that logical file listed in your source physical file?
Okay.
If it is that, then simply double click on it. If it is not, then you may have to click create it again.
Mm, It's not letting me back.
Oh, it's not letting, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
it's-
is it not letting you back into the V2 cloud?
Yeah, it's acting a lot. Sorry, let me check everything.
Yeah, what I did last time, I just refreshed the browser window and then tried.
Well, I know why. Give me 1 second. Fix this real quick.
So for your intro to programming and database class, so you guys have installed Visual Studios on your local computer, or you guys go to V2 Cloud?
Local computer. It's easier.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have it on my computer too.
they don't have anything for Mac, right? You have to have a Windows computer, correct?
I think so.
Yeah,
Maybe there's some alternative version, but
I
Windows
doubt
great.
it. I doubt it.
yeah.
I've downloaded Visual Studio before. I believe there's a Mac equivalent. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Don't quote me on that.
I know that they do have Visual Studio Code. That is a different deal than Visual Studio.
Yeah, there is a Visual Studio 2022 for Mac.
Oh, there is. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess it's fairly new.
Oh, okay. I hope it has all the features and it's not a trimmed down version.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll never touch a Mac. Had nothing but bad luck with those in the past.
It
Smart
created
man.
it. It's still loaded in.
It's are you in RDI or
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
it loaded it right back where it was. This screen you're on right now, right?
Okay, cool, awesome. So what we will do in this example, guys, different is that since I will be working with selecting some of the data, on the very first line, I will use this option of dynamic select, which is new stuff for you guys. So I'm dynamically selecting some of the data. That's what it means. I'm not tapping onto everything the physical file has to offer. I can have my record name, RECTLF1. I could have a different record name because now I have already stated that I will be dynamically selecting some items. I don't need the entire data record set. So now in the functions, I can call P file, and then I can say my P file is teachers 22. Which is this guy here, okay? So now I can start borrowing the fields and then I can write my selection or omission. So I need from here, teacher name, sorry, teach L name. And I need salary. And I would like to select all records where salary is greater than 50,000. Or let me put a different number, 70,000. Okay. This is something we did last week, but the only new thing that you see is dynamic select. And that allowed me to use a different record format name. Hold a second. Oh, I forgot the R on the first
I
one.
was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be an R somewhere in here, but I'm gonna trust your judgment on that.
I was in Judge Judy's court. I'm out of here. Right. Okay, so we have the logical file created. We can check in the commands log. And then you know the drill. You go to the Data Explorer. Where do you go? Tables, or where do you go to check the logical file?
View.
Views. Very good. So you go to the views, and in the views, you right click on the Teach LF1, and then you do return all rows under data. And that should give you everybody, if you have anybody that is making over 70,000. If you don't see any result, that means you don't have anybody making over 70,000. And we learn about that stuff on page number 339 and 340. That was right after figure 8.6. We learn about the compare command. 339, 340, right after figure 8.6. And you could be using any of those 8 operators listed at the bottom of page 339. And again, these operators can be used with number values, can be used with text values, can be used with date values. It just works with all data types.
Were we supposed to compile?
Yes, you are supposed to compile. And once you're done with compilation, then you're supposed to go to the Data Explorer under Views, return all rows on the logical file. And make sure that you corrected the, I made a mistake on the second line. I forgot to put the R in the record.
Okay, I was wondering why I got an error there. My bad.
So fix that and then compile. So let me close the tables and let me open the views and refresh.
And then you say you go back to where?
Go to your Data Source Explorer. And then you, instead of tables, you go down under Views, as you see on my screen. And then you go under Data, Return All Rows. And I can see everybody that is making over 70 grand in my list. And I have people over 70, so that worked for me. If you have a different data set, it may or may not return anything.
I don't have.
You have to right click on the views and refresh first, and then check.
Maybe that's what.
Mine won't compile.
Yours won't compile. Okay, so did you check to make sure that, and what is the error that it is giving you in the error list? Is it giving you any errors?
Yeah, it's kind of long. It says errors in DDS not allowed with specified gen level.
Okay, did you fix that R that I have? Okay.
Let me double check, but yeah.
Okay, and when you double click on the error message, which line does it takes you to?
That's in the error list.
Yeah, in the error list
Okay.
where you have your errors, double click on the first error, and which line does it takes you to?
Oh, okay. The teacher's 22. I think maybe I didn't put the no, I didn't put the S. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, mine worked.
Okay, cool. So that's another way for you in this RDI editor is if you double click on an error, it takes you to the line which is generating it, and then you can double check to see what could be wrong on that line. Does that fix?
Yeah, I'm saving it now and compiling.
Okay, cool.
Yep, all good.
Cool, awesome. So now go to the Data Explorer and right click on views and refresh, then right click on the logical file and return all rows in the data.
Was wrong with my teacher's 22 because I'm not getting the correct response from the LF.
Correct response means what? Are you not, do you have anybody who's making over 70 grand?
People, I have 2 people that should be, and only one of them is showing up, and it's still not letting me close it without, it's still not compiling correctly when I hit save, even after I removed the row. But I
Huh.
have no idea why it's not working. Everything is correct.
So when you go back to the tables and you right click on your table teachers and return all rows, check what data it gives you.
All right. It gives me everything, but when I try to save it, it's like, nope, can't, error, failed.
Okay, and if you try to close the tab, it doesn't let you close the tab.
Yeah, it just says, don't, or would you, has been modified, would you like to change it?
It's a yes,
Failed.
failed. Okay, and if you say no, what does it do?
Closes it.
Okay, cool. So now try your logical file.
All right. Return all rows. Still only shows one. Let me double check and see if maybe this one just had an extra 0, because I'm pretty sure they were all
Okay,
the
yeah,
same number of zeros.
check your tables first and then, yeah, right click on your table and then return all rows there, and then right click here on your view and return all rows.
Okay, it did have one more 0. All right,
Okay.
never mind. So it was just, I thought it was something to do with the fact that it kept saying erroring when I tried to save it, so.
Okay, cool. So now that you guys are done with this, let's switch back to the Remote System Explorer, and we will now save as. Click File menu, Save As, the logical file, and we will remove the 1 and we'll replace it with the 2 and hit Enter. This is where, as a practice, once the saving is done, close the tab and double click on LF2 from the list to reopen it. Not that it makes a difference every time, but it can make difference in most times, because sometimes when you didn't do that, it doesn't saves the changes.
So you want us to, sorry,
Just close the tab of LF2 and double click and open it again from the list.
LF2?
Did you first save your LF1 as LF2?
Oh, where did, that's what I missed that, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. So you click the file menu and you hit save as. And then you delete the 1 and put a 2 in the end and hit OK.
Okay.
Okay. And now do you see LF2 in the list?
Yes, sir.
On the left? Okay, so did you close the tab and double click to open it again? So close the tab from here and then double click to open it again. Okay.
So the
now,
LF2?
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Now we will move on to our next operator on page 340, which is called values. The values allow you to list some values, and it can then pick whatever value falls in the range. Okay. So for example, if I go down to line number 5 and bring my source prompter, and instead of salary, if I type teacher ID, do you think this will work? Or no? We talked about this last week.
Is it because there's a space?
No,
No, there's no space after S. It's
no, he's saying the space between the 1 and the 3.
no, that is
No.
part of the syntax. That means if the teacher ID matches 1 or the teacher ID matches 3, select the record. That's what it means. So all those records where teacher ID is 1 or teacher ID is 3 will be selected. But my question is, syntactically, this line is correct, but will this compile or no?
No, right? Because you still need to add another line for teacher ID.
Very good. In the selection, I cannot have a field that's not already listed. Okay. So for example, somewhere down in the list, I can now have teacher ID. So I created a new line at the end of the teacher L name. I went to the end of the line, hit enter. That created a new line. And I'm adding teacher ID to the list. And now I will compile the LF2. Okay, now there is one other problem here. What is the problem? Teacher ID is a character field. And look at how I wrote my values. I wrote my values as if it was a numbered field. That's what's complaining about. That indicated value not valid for character. So what I should do is I should enclose the value in quotes. And then compile it. And the errors are gone. The reason I'm showing you these little errors here and there, just so that, you know, if you ever run into those errors, you will know what mistake you might have made. Now, when it's compiled, you know the drill. Go to the date after you are done compiling this, check the commands log to make sure that it was done correctly. And then you go to the Data Explorer views, refresh the views, and return all rows on the view.
Oh, I got errors. Let me see.
Did you make that change that I made on line 6 and closing the
did.
values in single quotes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let me see.
Then did you also add a teacher ID?
I
With-
did. Oh,
Okay.
I missed out that letter in there. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I still have errors. Hold on 1 sec.
Okay.
I just forgot to change it from salary to teacher ID.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, shit. Yeah, mine worked.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So again, you know, when it works, you check to make sure that you can see the data on returning all rows. This will be a confirmation that you were able to pull out the records. Okay. So that was the other operator we worked with on page number 340. That was values. Okay. Now let's save this one as number 3. So LF3. Make sure you are in Remote System Explorer, by the way. So if you were in Data Explorer, switch back to Remote System Explorer, then save as the LF2 as LF3. Close the tab, double click to reopen the LF3. And then the only change I will now make is on the last line, where instead of values, I will use a range operator. The range operator means all the values from 1 through 3, means 1, 2, or 3. All of them are in the range. So range gives you a range of values, and values give you specific value. Only those matching value records will be picked. So this would be a good choice if you have a bunch of values in some kind of an order. So now after that, making that one little change, go ahead and compile. And once it compiles successfully, check your commands log, and then go to the Data Explorer, refresh the views, and return all rows on LF3. You should now see 1, 2, and 3. And that is the difference between values versus range.
For some reason, when I compile and then it successfully compiles, and then I go to refresh views, then it comes up, and then I return all rows, but nothing is shown in the lower right-hand corner.
Do you have any? Okay, now do this. Go to your tables, right click on teachers, and return all rows and see what data you have there.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think anything happened.
So you don't have anything in your teachers. Did you enter any data in your teachers or no?
Yeah.
You did. Okay. Did you save the changes on that so that the data was successfully entered?
Yes.
Because it looks like the data never transferred. Do you still have that grid open where you entered the data?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Yeah, I can here.
Okay.
I'm trying to share it. I'm on a browser, so.
Oh, I mean, like, oh, okay. Does the browser doesn't let you guys share screens? I don't know. I've never used the browser version.
I'm not sure. It's not letting me.
Is there any? So you don't see any share screen green arrow anywhere?
No, it's there. I'm clicking it, but nothing's happening.
Interesting. Okay. Try now.
Still
No,
nothing.
still nothing. Ooh. So, okay, let me share my screen back again here. So basically what I am asking you to do is in the Data Explorer, when you right click on the teachers, okay, go ahead, go in the tables, right click on the teachers, and then go to data and click edit. What do you see now here in the top window?
It says teachers 22, and then I'm able to input data.
So is it a blank grid?
No, there's data there that I entered before.
Okay, so on the tab, does it show a little asterisks next to teachers 22?
No.
Okay, So what happens when you click the file menu and hit save? What does it do?
It doesn't allow me to save it.
Okay,
It's
so, okay, that's okay. Now, when you right click on teachers 22 and go to data and return all rows, does it show you anything in the bottom right corner?
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. So it's like,
Maybe this computer is just
no, it's
too
not.
slow.
It's probably somewhere down the road, something didn't sync well. Okay, if you right click on any of the rows that you have already entered in the top area and hit delete row, does it do anything? Does it gives you an option to delete row?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and delete one of the rows.
Okay, I deleted one.
You delete everything? Or
No,
one?
I only deleted one.
Okay, now save the changes. Did it let you save the change?
Yeah.
Okay, now right click on the teachers 22 again and return all rows. Go to data and return all rows.
Yeah, still nothing.
It's still nothing. Okay, how about you delete all the rows that you have? So
All right.
you select, you basically right click and delete row and right click and delete row, and then re-enter the data and see if you can save the changes after re-entering the data and to see if that solves your problem.
All righty. I'll do that.
Okay. And for the rest of you, let's take a short break till 8:10. And then when you come back at 8:10, we'll look at the and or operators, and then we'll look at the join example. So we are on break till 8:10. Okay, guys, I'm back. Is everybody back?
Yep.
Awesome. Ethan, did that work for you?
Yeah, it worked.
Okay, cool, awesome. Okay. So guys, we looked at comp operator, we looked at value operator, and we looked at range operator. So those are the three that we looked at. Now there are a few things to learn before we move on to and or, okay? So for example, in the same example that we were looking at before we went on break, and that was teach LF3, okay? So first of all, let me save teach LF3 as LF4. Make sure that you are in Remote System Explorer. You can close the LF4, open it again, and we will make one minor change, and that is only on the last line. And the change is to swap your S with an O. That's about it. That's it. Swap your S with an O. Enter, save changes. Make sure that you can see O in the list. So all we are doing is we are reversing our selection. We're saying omit all rows where teacher ID is 1, 2, 3. So anywhere the teacher ID is not 1, 2, 3 will be selected. So now after making that one change, saving the LF3 as LF4, on the very last line, change the S to an O, save the changes, compile, and upon successful compilation, go behind the scene into your data explorer, refresh your views, and you should now be able to see that 1, 2, 3 are not selected. And whatever we did with the selection criteria, we could do with omission criteria, just like omission will omit all those that meet that selection. That's the only difference between selection and omission.
I had one lower than the amount that I put, so it only brought up that one.
Yeah, so yeah, because the idea is that whatever it brings up will not be 1, 2, or 3.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what omission does. Okay. Why would you want to use omit versus select? Let's say you need a result set, and the result set is such that you want everybody but some. So you're better off omitting that some, and that will help you get your results faster. Okay. So if you have to select all the teachers from 1 through 100 and not select 101 through 105, so just omit 101 through 105, whatever is left will be selected. So your processing time will be faster. So that's where you got to make your decision to go the selection route or the omission route. Okay. Now with that, I want you to turn to page 342, which is right before figure 8.7. In your books, page 342, which is right before figure 8.7, right at the top of page 342, you will see an example where S as a selection criteria is used on multiple lines. So it says S DEPT equals research, means select all the departments where the department name matches research. On the next line, you see the selection again. It says select all those that are making more than 45,000. So now comes the question, if you have selection like this, that each line has its own selection, what does that mean? That means an OR. It means select all those records where department is research, or select all those records where a person is making over 45,000.
What page did you say it was on? Sorry.
It is 342, the first 2 lines at the top.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if the selection is repeated, it automatically is ORed. So now let's try that with our data set. Let's save the LF4 as LF5. Okay. And then on line number 6, I'm changing my selection to S, and I'm changing my function to select all those records where teacher ID equals 1. And select all those records where salary is in the range of 70,000 to 80,000. So now since I use S on both lines, it will select 1, ID number 1 for sure. And for anybody else, it'll check to see if they fall within 70 to 80,000 range, and they will also be selected. Now, after you write that and compile it successfully, then go behind the scene in your Data Explorer and refresh your views. And when I return all my rows, employee 1 is the only one that meets the criteria. There is nobody else who meets the criteria because everybody else have their salary either less than 70 or more than 80. Sol is the only one that meets one of the two conditions or both. Okay. Now let's go back.
Give me 1 second. You won't let me save it.
It won't let you save it. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
it's like the save all is like not there. Like it's there, but it's like not highlighted.
And you still see a little asterisk next to the tab. Maybe it's all saved. All you need to do is compile.
Let me see.
Are you in Remote System Explorer or are you in Data Explorer? That's
check.
another.
Let me check. Let me check.
Yeah. Make sure that the gray server button is pressed in on the top right corner versus the blue cylinders.
Yeah, I'm in there.
You are in the Remote System Explorer. Okay.
Yeah. Let me refresh.
And did you try compiling it to see if it compiles?
I check right now. Just letting me compile.
Okay. Then check your commands log to see if it created the LF5.
Yeah, you did. That's
Okay,
weird.
then go to your Data Explorer and go to Views, refresh, and return all rows.
I probably did something wrong.
Are you not getting anything?
Right. I'm refreshing right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay, you did it.
Okay, cool. Nice. So now let's come back here and let's save the LF5 as LF6. Now I'm going down to the first line and changing that one, not first line, I mean like first selection line. Oh, I should close LF6 and open it again. My bad. I closed LF6 and opened it again. And now I'm going inside my prompter and changing the teacher ID to 2 instead of 1. And in the second line, I'm dropping the S to nothing. So when you have multiple lines of conditions under the same S, it now acts like an AND, which is right at the top of page number 343. When you have multiple conditions with one select, it automatically acts as an AND. What does that mean? That means select all those teachers whose ID is 2 and they make between 70 and 80,000. And means both criteria have to be met. So now when I compile this and it compiles successfully, I go behind the scene and refresh my views. And I look at the teachers I have, and it tells me that you have nobody that meets the criteria. That does not mean that I made an error. It's just like I don't have anybody that meets that criteria. So anytime you run a logical file and it gives you no results, that means the logical file is not able to find any matching data. That doesn't mean you made a mistake. Until and unless you really made a logical mistake by not putting in the correct conditions, but you did not make any syntax error. Okay. Now there is a very interesting concept on page 342 that I want you guys to read. And that concept revolves around that if the first line says select and the second line says omit, is it the same as if the first line says omit and the second one says select? And it's not. I want you to read that in the book on page 342, starting from the word, for example, consider employee Jack, from there all the way till the end of the page. Page 342, which is before figure 8.7. So does anybody has any question about what you read on page 342? Because otherwise we'll now move on to our next concept, which is about joining logical files on the common field, for which I would like you to move to page 358, where you have figure 8.18. Page 358, figure 8.18. And we'll also be looking at page 359, figure 8.19. Those are the two pictures that we'll be looking at. That is one example. It's also in your PowerPoint for chapter 8. That would be slides 40 and 41. Okay. So this is what you see in figure 8.18. These are the two physical files. One physical file is called zippf. The other physical file is called EMPPF_7.1. Those are their names. Each one of them have a lot of fields, a bunch of fields, okay? Is there any field that is common between the two?
Looks like zip.
Zip, okay? And E is the field description the same?
5 and oh yeah.
Yeah, 9S0.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's 9S0, okay? So this is exactly what we did with teacher ID between classes and teachers. We had a common field, okay. Now look at the next picture, figure 8.19 on the next page. This is the logical file that is joining the two together. Now we have a lot of things that are different than what you learned before. For example, in our previous example, we see that if you were to make a logical file, borrow data from a physical file, what function were we calling? P file, right? Okay. Now that we are joining the two files, we are now calling J file. So we are using a different function. And when you use J file, it is expected from you to list all the physical files that will be joined. So we are listing them separated by a space. So we're telling that EMPPF and ZipPF, those are the two files I need to join. Now, next instruction that you have to provide is, okay, you are joining them, but you need to give them some sequence numbers, and they will be recognized by that sequence number. So you are now using a letter J in the same column where you had letter R, and you're saying, I want to join them, give EMPPF a number 1, and give ZipPF a number 2. Okay. On the third line, you need to mention, I would like to join them on a common field. So joining field is zip. This is the common field. Okay. Now you start listing all the fields from both objects. Doesn't matter in what order. You do not even need to tell which field is coming from which one of the two objects, except for the common field. And that's why we numbered them. When it comes to the common field, the system gets confused. Okay, you want me to grab zip but from where? So now you need to say, I want you to grab the zip from, so you now call a function JREF, and you mention a number which refers to one of the two objects. So grab the zip from EMPPF because I used the number 1.
Does it matter where you grab it from?
No,
I mean,
it doesn't. It doesn't. But you need to mention at least one of the two, because it is grabbing on commonality. So wherever it finds a match, it grabs.
And then my next question would be like, do you have to, let's say you want to join the two files, but you only want some of it. Let's say you didn't want to include the state. Could you just admit the state?
Yeah, you can select whatever fields. You don't have to select all the fields.
And it has to be a common field in order for you to
Yes,
join it.
you must have the common field, because that's the whole point of joining the two, because you want to do a matching of the common record sets from both parties. Otherwise, there's no point of joining the two unmatched files. So if one file is about customers and another file is about inventory, I mean, like, there is no point of joining them because they're totally two different items. So you only join those objects which have something common, so that you can pull data from both of them and create a complete new record set, which doesn't exist as a record set in the system. And if you turn to page 362 and look at figure 8.20, which is this guy, what do you see different here compared to the last example?
Dynamic selection.
Exactly. So you can dynamically select, and then you can now put the selection criteria that I'm only interested in those records where city is Kenosha, and I'm only interested in these zip codes. So it will only give you records that follow the selection criteria. Next, I want to take you to page number 372, where you see figure 8.30. And this is where the author shows you an example. This is page 372. Oops. This is where the author shows you an example of joining three physical files in one logical file. So look at the very first line. The author says, I want to join project PF, project member PF, and EMP PF. So you list all of them on the same line. Now look at the second line. You can only join 2 at a time. Your second line says, I want to join, so you start with a J, okay? I want to join 1 and 2. So you basically are saying that 1 and 2 have something in common. Here we go. Let me increase the fonts. Okay. Okay. So I want to join the 1 and the 2. So project PF and project member PF are joined. And then I list, okay, the common field between them is project CD. Then I start my second join and I said, okay, I want to join 2 and 3. And the common field between them is employee number. Then I start listing my fields. Any field that's common, I can then say, okay, project CD, grab that from project PF, and employee number, grab that from project member PF.
If they all had the same field, all 3 of them, would you be able just to list it off as 1, 2, 3? Or does it have to be
Yeah,
1, 2?
yeah, you can, but the problem is you will see repeated data again and again because it's the same one, that's matching one. So there's no point of displaying the same project CD twice or same employee number twice because it is based on the match. But technically you can, practically you will not. So now let's put something like this together for our items, okay, our objects. So for that purpose, let me start a new member. I'll call this one teach LF7. And this will be a logical file, but I'm starting a fresh one, a brand new one. I'll build it all the way down, okay? Okay. Here. So the first thing is I need to come up with a record format. And I
We're just doing a physical file for the first one.
No. These are logical files. This is a logical file, which yeah. So I will be joining the 2 physical files we created the first one, right? So we'll be joining the teachers and classes. Okay, because that's why we created a common field between them. That was a teacher ID.
Okay.
Okay.
The last one, I guess the question is the last one. So you said we were opening a new one, right?
Yeah, it's a brand new one.
So it's gonna be under the PF or the LF?
It's a logical file, so it will be an LF.
Okay.
See that that we are creating a logical file. We're not creating any physical files. You cannot join physical files inside a physical file. To join, you must have a logical file.
Gotcha.
Okay. So now here in the functions, I will call the function jfile, and I will list both of them. One is my teachers 22, and the other one is my classes 22. So I'm keeping page 359 in front of me, which is figure 8.19. So you guys can do the same, so that as I'm doing these steps, I will refer to the example in the book. So you'll be able to see what I'm doing in reference to our example. So I did the equivalent of the first line, where I created a record format, I called jfile, and I listed both the files that I want to join. What do I want to do next? On the second line, my name type is J, and I will now call the function join, and I'll give each one of them a number. Okay, what do I do on the third line? I simply go in the functions, I call jfield function, and I simply list the common field. So look at the 3 lines in the book and then match with the 3 lines that you wrote. The syntax is same. Of course, the fields and the values are different because our example is different. Now I can start listing my fields. So if I say I want to display the teacher ID, then it will complain because teacher ID is a common field. So that's where I have to use a reference. But all other fields that are not common, I can just simply list them.
Can you join multiple fields from the same file?
What do you mean?
Like if I wanted,
oh, no, you cannot do concatenation. If I want to put the first name and last name together in one row, no. In one column, no.
well, if I wanted to have a teacher first name and a teacher last name in the class for whatever reason, could I also join like 2 different fields that are in the same 2 files that are already joined?
That's what I'm saying. You cannot put multiple values in the same field.
Oh,
Okay. You still need to display one field, one value per field.
So you couldn't create a new line with a second join field of 2 different or 2 of the same fields?
Basically, they're asking, can you do J field, teacher ID, and then a second J field, and then something else?
Oh, okay. If you're talking about J field, the J field has to be on only between the common fields. First of all, J field is specially designed for common fields. You cannot J field uncommon fields. But if you have more than 2 files, as we saw in figure 830, then you will follow this structure for each combination.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you cannot put multiple fields in one field. You cannot do concatenation that you can do in databases, or that you can do in variables in programming, that you concatenate values from 2 variables into 1 variable. You can't do that stuff here.
Okay.
Okay. So now, if I stop here, this pretty much give me the teacher ID, the class ID, the class name, the teacher's first and the last name. So I will be able to see a report on which I can see, okay, which teacher is teaching which class by their names, not just by their IDs. So here I can see on the right-hand side that Java is taught by John Soule. Advanced Java is also taught by John Soule. And C++ is taught by Audrey Suraj. So I was earlier on, if I were only to look at the classes, I could only see the teacher ID. I couldn't see what was the teacher's name. So now combining the two, I can now look at the entire data set.
I got an error. I mean, I'm looking right now to see where I made a mistake.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The source code is right there on my screen. And also, if you have a syntax error, double click on the error and it'll take you to the line where the error is. And then you can concentrate on that line.
Okay. Oh, I see it.
So when you're doing your homework, you can look at the examples that we did in class. You can also look at the examples in the book. And what you're basically looking for is the syntax. Everything is very well defined in terms of syntax. So sometimes people use P file instead of J file on the first line, you know, because they're so used to using P file and they're wondering why is it not working? Or instead of using join, they wrote J field on the second line and join on the third line. Or they changed the sequence of join and J field. Or they forgot the J. You know, those little things we forget. So that's why it's very important with this stuff to pay special attention to each and everything. And expect on the final exam a problem that will require you to create physical files, populate them with data, then create a logical file that will join the two. So what we just did today, expect something like this on a hands-on activity in the final. And again, you know, you have the whole week to do it. It's given to you on the 2nd of December and it's not due until the 9th. So don't just expect to sit on your computer on 9th and send me email around 12 a.m. that can you extend it, or I can't get this to work, because I'll be sleeping at that time, by the way. And I can't help you with your final exam errors also. So My response to you would be that, sorry, I can't help you fix your final exam errors. And I mean, it is open book, open notes. What else do you need, right? It's the only thing you can't use is HR, human resource, to help you complete the final.
There you go with that corny jokes again, man. There you go. See, you see why I can't go and have another teacher teach me? Because we don't know if we're gonna get. I don't know if anybody could be as corny as you. I don't think that's humanly possible in terms of teaching.
You know, if that other teacher is originally from Wisconsin, then the jokes will not be corny, because I moved her from Illinois, so I brought the corns with me. Their jokes will be cheesy.
Don't act like corn isn't a universal Midwest thing, okay? That's regionist.
Well, at least I'm not ill and annoying anymore. I mean, I'm not from Illinois. I mean.
Oh, are you a Packer?
Just mental Illinois.
You know, I mean, after coming to Wisconsin, Wisconsin has two negatives, and that makes it positive, right? It has sin and it has con.
Wow. Did you just come up with this code or what? Or what's going on here?
You know, I just come up with quotes all the time, and I've been submitting RFPs and RFQs all the time.
Illinois slander is okay.
Anyway, anyway, so we have come to the point today where we can now start looking at this week's homework problem.
I just looked at it. I got so tripped out. I thought the assignment was I thought I just turned in last week's assignment in the wrong area because it was the exact same. I was like, did I do the wrong homework?
Now, so last week in unit number 8, I gave you this problem, number 6, right? Oh, I gave you did I give you the same one in 9? Oh.
It is the same one. I was very, very worried that I just done the wrong homework, except this one has problems that we have to like join them with.
Yeah. I'm like, I did not give you the exact same one. No. I gave you the same physical files as a point of reference, but you're solving different problems. So you're not recreating these anymore. You already did that in the previous assignment. Now I'm asking you to create 3 new logical files
based on the physical files.
Based on the physical files.
I realized that, but at first I was like, crap, did I just turn in the wrong assignment?
Oh, okay. No. And I purposely didn't give you the join assignment this week. I'll give you the join assignment next week. So that will give you 1 more week of syncing in the information and then trying it. So that's why I'm only concentrating on selection and omission, and then I'll look at joins. I'll give you join problem next week. Okay, and next week we will then start with databases. So now we have come to a point where we have learned enough about the physical files and the logical files. The whole point of physical files is to hold the data. The whole point of logical file is to create a window into 1 or more physical files. And based on your situation, you will come up with your answer to use a logical file or to not use a logical file. Okay. So this week you have 1 quiz and 1 assignment, and you have all these videos also that you can watch if you want to refresh on any of these things, if you do not want to go over the entire class lecture. So, you know, you can just watch those short videos. Okay, cool. So that brings us to the end of tonight's class.
Okay.
And you guys have a good weekend. And if you are behind on any of this stuff, please complete those. And Angelica, remember, we need to look at that problem. So yeah, that's all for tonight, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You as well.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Are you gonna
Bye.
be able to go over my scheduling with me real quick?
Yes, yes. Let me first help Angelica and then I can look at your schedule.
For sure. Ladies first all the time, man.
Right, so actually I found out what the problem was. I was referencing something wrong. I missed an I and I needed the I in there. So I got it right and I got the supplier to compile now. I
Okay.
just can't resubmit the screenshot that
Right.
says I got
So
it.
let me clear your old submission
Okay,
and then you can resubmit. Okay.
okay. And then I did do the final compile in the RDI because we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
in
yeah.
there.
I mean, like, that's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
That's okay. Let me first go down there and let me locate your profile. Okay, yeah, it should be clear. It is clear now, and you should be able to submit number 4, and then you can work on the others that needs to be worked on.
Okay, the only one I need to work on is the number 6 that just.
And
that's
then,
due
yeah.
tonight. Okay,
Okay, and then, yeah, and the 7 is you have the week to work on it. Cool, awesome.
okay. All right, thank you.
You have a good one. Okay. Louis and Alvin, do you guys have any questions?
No, I'm just lazy and didn't click the leave yet.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. How about you,
I just
Louis?
have a question, but Desmond can go first.
Okay,
he's-
Desmond,
I'm just gonna help. He's just gonna help me in my scheduling. So if you need
yeah,
to-
Desmond is a little bit longer, so if you have a quicker one,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I did the assignment for today right. I have the screenshots already done.
Okay,
I just want to pull it up. I can share my screen.
yeah, go ahead. It's available. Okay. So you have your physical file, you have your data. Okay, scroll down. And then you have your other physical file, okay? And scroll down, and then you have its data, okay? And then you have your logical file, and then hold on a second, hold it. Let me go to the correct unit. Number 8, numbers of 7. Okay, so I asked you to create one logical file, which you are doing it, okay? And I ask you to pull out title, author, and pages, okay? And then you need to give me the screenshot of going to the views and right-clicking on it and returning all data, which you're doing, and that's it.
Oh, okay. All right, sounds good. Thank you.
You are welcome.